They showed up at their workplaces. They knocked on their front doors. They put cameras in their faces and demanded answers. And then they posted it all online for millions of people to watch. Right now, across the United States, a growing movement of social media influencers is specifically targeting Indian H-1B visa holders, questioning their jobs, challenging their legal status, and in some cases, showing up at private residential addresses linked to their employers. This is not a rumor. This is not an isolated incident. This is an organized, deliberate online storm that is growing louder by the day, and every single Indian professional working legally in the United States needs to understand exactly what is happening, exactly what their rights are, and exactly what they should do if they become a target. Because the people showing up at these doors are not government officials. They are not law enforcement. And what they are doing may be crossing serious legal boundaries, boundaries that protect you right now under American law. Welcome to Global Entry News, the channel that brings you the immigration stories that actually matter, the legal updates that directly affect your life, and the facts you need when the headlines get loud and the misinformation gets louder. If you are new here, subscribe right now and turn on the bell notification, because on this channel, we do not just report what is happening, we tell you what it means and what you can do about it. Today's story is one of the most important we have covered in a long time. And if you or someone you know is on an H-1B visa in the United States, do not go anywhere. Stay with us until the very last word. This information could protect your job, your visa, and your life in America. Let's start from the beginning, because to understand how serious this situation has become, you need to understand what the H-1B visa actually is and why Indian professionals have become the center of this storm. The H-1B visa is a legal, federally authorized work visa that allows skilled foreign professionals to work in the United States in specialty occupations, technology, engineering, medicine, finance, and more. It is not a loophole. It is not a workaround. It is a program created by the United States government, used by some of the largest and most powerful American companies in the world to hire the best talent globally. And Indians dominate this program, not because of any unfair advantage, but because of skill, education, and demand. Indians account for approximately 70% or more of all H-1B visa approvals every single year. 70%. That number alone tells you why Indian professionals have become the primary target of this online campaign. Now here is what is actually happening on the ground. A series of videos have been flooding social media platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, in which influencers are publicly accusing Indian H-1B holders of visa misuse, questioning their legal status, and in some cases showing up physically at locations associated with H-1B sponsoring companies. One of the most talked about cases involves a Texas-based content creator named Sarah Gonzalez, who visited addresses listed as business locations for H-1B sponsors and claimed that some of these locations appeared inactive or were actually residential properties. In one particularly disturbing video, she approached a food truck operator and questioned him on camera, alleging that he was running a side business while on an H-1B visa, an allegation made without any legal authority, without any official investigation, and without presenting the full picture of the situation to her audience. Similar content has followed from other creators across multiple states. These videos are being shared widely, often without context, often without the full story, and almost always designed to generate outrage, clicks, and engagement from audiences already primed by anti-immigration rhetoric. And this is where the political dimension of this story becomes impossible to ignore. Legal experts and analysts are drawing a clear line between the rise of this content and the broader political environment around immigration in the United States. When political leaders use language that describes other countries as undesirable places and frames immigration as an invasion rather than a contribution, That language does not stay in press conferences and rally speeches. It filters down into online communities. It gives permission to content creators to target specific groups. It turns a federal visa program, a legal pathway, into a subject of suspicion and hostility. The anti-India, anti-immigration sentiment that experts say has been building for years in certain corners of online America is now finding a very specific and very visible target: Indian tech workers, Indian H-1B holders, and Indian professionals who have built their lives legally in the United States. Indian tech workers are a critical part of the American technology workforce, including Silicon Valley. And this kind of targeted content and rhetoric contributes directly to rising anti-India sentiment both online and offline. But here is what the people making these videos either do not know or do not want you to know. Immigration attorneys across the United States are now issuing clear, urgent warnings. Private individuals, including social media content creators, do not have the legal authority to investigate visa holders. They cannot demand documents. They cannot require you to answer questions about your immigration status. They cannot compel you to do anything And the distinction that legal experts are emphasizing right now is one that every H-1B holder must have memorized. An ICE officer, a law enforcement officer, and an anti-immigrant influencer with a camera are not the same thing. They are not even close to the same thing. And your legal obligations to each of them are completely different. So let us talk about exactly what your rights are, because this is the information that can protect you in a real encounter. First, you are not required to share your immigration documents with private individuals under any circumstances. Documents such as your labor condition application and other records related to your visa are maintained by your employer and are not meant for public disclosure to random individuals who approach you on the street or at your workplace. Second, if someone arrives at your private residence claiming to be investigating your visa status, you are under absolutely no legal obligation to open your door, especially if they do not have a warrant and cannot prove official government authority. Your home is protected. Third, if an individual refuses to leave your private property after you have asked them to go, they can be considered a trespasser under the law. You have the right to call law enforcement and report the incident. This is not confrontation. This is exercising your legal rights on your own property. Fourth, and this is perhaps the most important practical advice in this entire video, do not engage on camera. Legal experts are strongly advising this across the board. Many of these interactions are specifically designed to provoke a reaction, to make you say something that can be edited, clipped, taken out of context, and shared online in a way that misrepresents the entire situation. The moment you argue, explain, or defend yourself on camera to one of these creators, you have given them exactly what they came for. Say nothing, walk away, call your attorney. Fifth, if someone approaches you and claims to be a government official, you have the absolute right to ask for their official identification document. You can verify their credentials. You can write down their badge number, their name, and their agency. This verification protects you and ensures that the person standing in front of you is actually who they claim to be, because private individuals impersonating government officials is a crime. And it happens. Now, let us zoom out and look at the bigger picture, because this story is about more than just a few viral videos. What is happening to Indian H-1B workers right now is a reflection of a much larger shift in how immigration is being talked about, framed, and weaponized in public discourse in the United States. When political polarization around immigration reaches a certain temperature, certain communities become targets. And right now, Indian professionals, people who came to America legally, who work hard, who pay taxes, who contribute to some of the most important industries in the country, are squarely in the crosshairs of that targeting. The legal system protects them, the Constitution protects them, But protection on paper only works when people know their rights and are prepared to exercise them. Awareness is the first line of defense, and that is exactly why this video exists. Immigration attorneys are urging H-1B holders to stay calm, stay informed, document any incidents that occur, and consult with a qualified immigration lawyer immediately if they feel their rights have been violated or if they are approached in a way that feels threatening or legally questionable. The law is on your side. The rights are real. But you have to know them to use them. This situation is evolving. The videos are not stopping. The online storm is not calming down, and the political environment that is feeding it is showing no signs of cooling. That is why Global Entry News will continue covering this story as it develops, state by state, case by case, update by update. If this video gave you information you needed today, share it right now with every Indian professional in your network who is working in the United States on an H-1B visa. They need to see this. They need to know their rights. And they need to know that they are not alone in navigating this moment. Drop a comment below and tell us your state and whether you or someone you know has been approached in a situation like this. Because your experience matters and this community is here for it. Subscribe to Global Entry News right now if you have not already and turn on the bell. Because the follow-up to this story, including a state-by-state breakdown of where these incidents are happening most and what legal options H-1B holders have, is already being prepared. You do not want to miss it. Stay informed, know your rights, and remember, legal presence in this country is not something anyone with a camera can take away from you.